Yeah. Who's keeping it real? Who's really had a bad deal? What's the point of a pill and touching what you can't feel? Take each quote, let that provide hope. Now walk in silence and push the envelope.
How rap turned bad, I never know. I remember Ozone and Turbo and Curtis Blow solo singing. These are the breaks. The first time I heard a Too Short tape. Controversy on where it started and what state. In '88, I watched it elevate. It got so large, the corporate America made it circulate. Now thanks to that, it's money in gangsta rap. Try to eliminate vinyl, man, these motherfuckers done snap. I feel like that was direct blow, aimed toward the ghetto. They don't fucking rock and roll, it's like taking guitars out of heavy metal. And I ain't gonna settle for that, so I keep my shit waxed. For my hip hop heads and my turntable and crate cats. Down to keep it underground, without the railroad. 100 million copies made, that's 100 million copies sold. So fuck platinum and gold, I'm on some next level, yo. Make the scientists add an element to the periodical. I'm Christopher Columbus, I'm unchartable. Until I hit land, the dirtiest nigga around. East salt, shit, black sand. And I ain't a liar, I do it for the money and the fans and the power that I feel. When the mic's in my hands, it be like
who's keeping it real? Who's really had the bad deal? What's the point of a pill and touching what you can't feel? Take each quote, let that provide hope. Now walk in silence and push the envelope. Who's keeping it real? Who's really had the bad deal? What's the point of a pill and touching what you can't feel? Take each quote, let that provide hope. Now walk in silence and push the envelope.
Yo, push the envelope, raise prices up and down like ski slopes. Ghetto wishes and lost hopes. Move past the slow poke, selling chopped up soap. I parlay amongst my people, I parlay amongst my folks. Spitting hip hop quotes. This rap life, this street life ain't no motherfucking joke. I'm daily dreaming about 30,000 dedicated fans. Real life one-man bands, DJ speaking with his hands. But on the other hand, we splurge grands. Rolling in a full-size Chevy conversion van. Thinking up power moves, schemes and scams. And how can we make these G's expand? My next plan, credit card scheme and scan. Triple beams and grams. Before this thing called hip-hop, I take a firm stand.
Time to make a statement. I'm trying to be your man with boys is trying to be complacent. My motivation is to inspire innovation. Without hesitation, we pioneers in this situation. Real MCs are chosen to create messages spoken. Hip-hop's a way of life that can't be taken from a joking. Now through it all, I stand and pledge my devotion. Let my words soothe the world like tough skin and lotion. Lessons of life are vitamins again and again. Stress up my shoulders through the weed and the pen. I holds my head up, walking through doors of the setup. Cause niggas wait for niggas to fall, that's how they place their bet up. I'm not afraid, since hip-hop needs an upgrade. It's time to be the grand marshal of the ticker tape parade. I try to say what most won't, and do what most don't. Stop thinking that I can't, and stop saying that I ain't. I dare to be different, yo, that's part of being gifted. They charge room large, make sure my people is uplifted. I push for the realness, till God decide to end it. The mid mess my domain, so I ride out independent. Who's keeping it real? Who's really had the bad deal? What's the point of a pill and touching what you can't feel? And take each quote, let that provide hope. Now walk in silence and push the envelope. Who's keeping it real? Who's really had the bad deal? What's the point of a pill and touching what you can't feel? Take each quote, let that provide hope. Now walk in silence and push the envelope.
Today, we champion the black men who've taken the reins of their lives, leading the way in family, finance, and purpose. Their own unique F.F.P. We're here to uplift and to highlight the black men whose personal brands shine, illuminating the best within our community. The essence of our community lies in the power of dependability, of being useful and consistently exuding confidence, intelligence, and assertiveness. That's the man we're here to celebrate. A man who truly embodies a meaningful, accountable nature. A true man. But our praise doesn't stop there. We raise our hats to the black women whose public and private actions beautifully mirror the strength and grace of our black men. Together, They weave the vibrant fabric of our community. Now let's celebrate the mantra that binds us. Dare to be bold, not silent. That's our rallying cry here at the Real Bravado Network. We're all about character, personal growth, and fostering a culture of accountability, all framed by this bold mantra. Our name, Real Bravado, represents our spirit, the essence of being truly bold. And that's our mission for every live stream, every conversation we have. So, let's dive into this journey together. And remember, we're here to be real, to be bold. Let's start this conversation, folks. Welcome, everyone, to our exciting live stream here on RBN, your trusted Real Bravado Network. This is your moment, your space. This is Have the Conversation. And every black man, start your day with 3 words. I'm a king.
I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king and I will never knew. Plotting for my fall, you getting hanged for treason. I don't aim to please, do anything I feel. Haters gonna talk, don't listen to the shit. They tryna be like me, they know they can, yo. Can't even get lost, I'm on a pedestal, sitting on my throne. My neck be decked in gold, I don't do no hoes, I've got a queen though. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing.
We are back. We are back. We are back. We are your trusted RBN, your Real Bravado Network, where we discuss black issues, especially those issues that keep us from being together. My name is TJ, and I am your facilitator for this journey today. Welcome to your afternoon coffee break. We will only be here for the afternoon for a coffee break. I actually have today a pretty good follow-up stream to Charlemagne when Larry Elder came on the Breakfast Club. So today will be a follow-up to that stream. There was something in that interview that they did with him. There was something that they did in that interview that that I missed, that I absolutely missed, and so we're going to cover it today. But before we get started today, please, everyone, do us a favor.
Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge the Real Bravado Network. Acknowledge those in the chat. Acknowledge those that support us through super chat, super stickers. Support those that support us with our time. Support those that send me hateful comments after my stream is over with. Support those too. I would like for you guys to come on through and have a conversation with a brother instead of waiting 8 hours, 4 hours, or whatever to have for your hateful conference. It's easy to be bold and not silent when you won't. You don't even got to show yourself. All you got to do is come up and limit your voice and do that. All right, before we get going, please
Let me talk to you.
All right, y'all. Let me talk to you. I was having a conversation yesterday with someone, and the topic of the next year, I believe it's next year's presidential election, and the absolute concern that people have that Donald J. Trump is going to get reelected. And if he becomes the Republican nominee, Donald Trump will definitely get reelected, especially if the Democratic, or how I like to call the Democrats, keep Joe Biden as their nominee. Donald Trump will definitely be reelected. And I also made the comment that specifically he's going to get reelected probably on the backs of black men. And of course, that was a major trigger point for this person, because they could not understand why anybody of color would vote for Donald Trump. And I will keep it a buck. I will never vote for Donald Trump. But as a black man, I understand the urge for someone to go out and vote, especially since the 1960s. Black people have been voting Democratic since the 1960s, overwhelmingly over 90% of over 95% of the time, actually, overwhelmingly voting for the Democratic candidate. And but there's been a seismic shift. I wouldn't call it a seismic shift, but there's been a gradual shifting within the Democratic Party. They're losing their black men. I came across an article on of all places, MSNBC. And the article says, black men shift slightly towards Trump in record numbers. So I was going to kind of read a little bit of this and give you some of my commentary before we get back to the Charlemagne stuff, because a lot of people, not just a lot of people, a lot of black women do not understand. They can't wrap their head around why black men are shifting away from the Democratic Party and shifting to voting for a Republican candidate, especially somebody like a Donald Trump. All right, here we go. And the article was written by, and I'm not good with names, written by Mara Osterfield and Michelle Garcia. And it says, which is funny, that doesn't sound like any black folk, but that's okay. It says support for the Democratic presidential candidate reached a new low among black men this past year, according to the NBC poll of early election voters. 80% of black men supported Joe Biden during the last presidential election, and that's down slightly from when Hillary Clinton ran, and black men supported Hillary Clinton to the tune of 82%. But that 82% is significantly down. Hillary Clinton's 82% is down significantly from when Barack Obama ran in 2008 and 2012. In Obama's first presidential campaign, 95% of black men voters and 96% of black women chose Barack Obama. But 4 years later, but when Hillary Clinton ran, only 82% of black men voted. So that's down almost a whole 10% from Barack Obama to Hillary Clinton. And then it's down even further from Barack Obama to Joe Biden. So black men are absolutely moving away from the Democratic Party. Support for the Democratic presidential candidate in general appears to be slipping away from amongst black women as well, but not to the degree as black men. Biden still enjoyed the support of more than 9 out of 10 black females. So 90% of black women vote for and will vote for Joe Biden. But the shift follows a busy campaign pushed by both candidates to capture black voters. They're talking about the Biden campaign in Philadelphia over the weekend. Souls to the Polls events, black faith communities. His running mate, Vice President Kamala Harris, who is now the first black female presidential candidate. However, Trump stumped for black voters this election season, gaining endorsement from funny rappers and partnering with entertainers like Ice Cube. I'm not sure if I would categorize Ice Cube as partnering with Donald Trump. He didn't, but they're talking about specifically Ice Cube's plan for Black America. Okay, so this article, and I skipped over some stuff. They reference the Stacey Abrams campaign and black voters, which we covered in great detail. Listen, the support for Donald Trump, or I should say the lack of support that the Democratic Party is getting out of black men is their own fault. And I was talking to this person yesterday about this, and they were very upset. They classified Republicans as evil. And I'm not sure if they are inherently evil or if they just fight harder for their positioning. And yeah, I will say, especially over the last 2 presidential or 3 presidential cycles, the Republican Party has wholeheartedly embraced neo-Nazism and white supremacy to a level that they've never embraced it before, because they're looking to win. The Democratic Party, however, for 50 years have ignored what black men have wanted, which is understandable because everybody knows, every political structure, every business, every capitalistic endeavor in this country understands one important thing about black folk, and that is black women run the black family and run the black family. So they pander to our black women. They court our black women vote because they believe that our black women will always keep black men in line and black men in lockstep and barrel with black female voters, because we are, and I said yesterday, black men are led around by our women. Our women tell us what to do. We don't provide any pushback. Well, enter the last 5 years. The rise, I'm calling it the rise of the black man backbone finally. And what's been happening is black men have said, enough's enough. Enough's enough and ignoring me. Enough's enough and not taking me seriously. And they're saying that in many different areas of their life, including the political arena. So for those, let me try to make this clear from my little perspective. And I don't know in complete totality as to why black men are shifting, but I have a general idea as to one of the rationales. Well, you have to understand something. If on a political perspective, if one party has been ignoring you for 50 damn years, have been ignoring you, and then not only is the political party ignoring you, but the women who share your reflection or ignore you, the big business ignores you. If everywhere you go you're getting ignored and you're not wanted anywhere you're going, what do you think is going to happen when somebody sits there and says something like, "You haven't been, it hasn't worked out for you for 50 years for working for Republicans, so why don't you vote for me? What the hell do you have to lose?" That statement came directly from Donald Trump. What the hell do you have to lose? And that resonated with a lot of black men. And so what Stacey Abrams thought was a good idea to do was to go on national TV and tell black men, hey, black men are being duped. They being fed propaganda. Black men don't understand what's being said to them. And I'm paraphrasing. Black men are being misled by a misinformation campaign. So Stacey Abrams, other people, are women, even if you talk about them this as in layman's terms, they all believe that we're just stupid, that we don't know what's happening, that we don't know what they're doing, that we don't understand, and we're just blindly, because we're easily manipulated. Let me tell you something. If you look throughout history and if you take it back biblically, it's never the men that's manipulated. It's almost always the women. And because men are very susceptible to the influences of their women, especially black men, we follow right behind because we want to make her happy. So we're not being stupid, even though that's what our women like to think. And the reason why black men are moving away from the Democratic Party, because we're tired of being talked to like we're stupid. And then somebody now is sitting down saying, they're saying the bare minimum, at least we will listen to you. That's what they're saying. And our women are flat out, and the Democratic Party are flat out, just straight up ignoring the fact that we're not being listened to. They're saying, we don't care if you're not being listened to. Don't go vote for them. You're being manipulated. You're being stupid. You still ain't shutting the F up, and you still ain't doing the thing, and you're participating in the thing that's causing black men to slip away. And that's not listening and not taking us and our needs and what we want and what we desire, taking them seriously. And the more you try to rail against what we want, the more we're going to dig in. And the more black men you're going to lose from that side of the voting aisle. If the Republican Party, if the various members of the Republican Party that are continually, at least at the bare minimum, willing to listen to black men, if they're able to replace that white supremacy rabbit ring of their party with black men, good Lord, that will be the end of the Democratic Party, because the only faction you will have left is the alphabet community and black women, and you won't win a single election like that. And then we will become we will move from a two-party system. In theory, we have a two-party system to a one-party system. Good God. All because you guys refuse to listen to a conversation and try to understand the needs of your black men. This is dangerous. You guys thought the entitlement programs that our women took part of and accepted in the 60s was detrimental to the black folks. If you guys continue to create an environment where you politically separate black men from black women, there is no recovery. I'm not talking about in anybody's lifetime. There is no recovery. I keep saying that black family is stage 4. We're stage 4 right now. We're on hospice. You continue to divide us. If they can increase that number from 20% to 30%, it is over. It is absolutely over. And there is no way back. All right, y'all. So that's it. That's all for that. Now, let's take a look at what we're here to talk about. White men can define blackness. And this leads into something that I wanted to cover on with the Breakfast Club that I did not get a chance to cover, that I don't know how I missed this. But I'm gonna play something from Judge Joe Brown, and then we're gonna go ahead and react to that. Okay.
I wanna go to Larry Elder, because he was on the Breakfast Club, and basically they're saying that he kind of set fire on Charlemagne,
Look,
put them in their place.
Larry Elder is interesting. He's
Larry Elder didn't kinda put them in this place. This lady here, her name is Dana. She is a co-host. I'm not really sure how the dynamics work on the Judge Joe Brown is on YouTube, and I don't know exactly how the dynamics work over there, but I'm calling it the Judge Joe Brown YouTube channel. But the lady, her name is Dana. She kind of drives the discussion over there. So that's her name. And everybody knows the good old Judge Joe Brown. So yeah, so I don't really, Dana really drives the discussion over there, for Judge Joe Brown. Almanize, I don't care for Dana. She's a hyena. I get those vibes out of her too, because she can be a little, she gets a little beside herself with Judge Joe Brown sometimes. So I don't watch it as much as I used to, because this woman's a trigger for me.
running it's his game. That's his hustle.
Yeah,
that's his hustle to be all off into that nutcase far right stuff. But
Judge Joe Brown, I mean, he's an older man. He has the right to say how he wants to say. He has the right to speak how he wants to speak. His opinions, he's earned the right that he doesn't have to give a damn. But I'm not sure if I would classify what Larry Elder do is a hustle. Now, Judge Joe Brown runs in circles where Larry Elder runs, so he has information that we don't. So I would reserve room for that. But I don't think that this is a hustle for Larry Elder. I believe Larry Elder believes this shit.
You ask him about black family and manhood, and he gets serious.
I interviewed him on.
Absolutely, and we saw that on the Breakfast Club when they started talking about. Well, he came out the gate swinging with the black family, and the brother was spot on. Like, when and Judge talks about when he gets serious, meaning ain't no sweet in that tank when he's talking about that. Ain't no playing, ain't no kidding around, ain't no ingest, ain't no putting on airs or whatever you want to call it. Ain't none of that with him when he's talking about manhood in the black family. So I guess that's where him and Judge Joe Brown are aligned on.
That.
And he's a totally different person. Totally different.
On point when it comes to that. Yeah.
Exactly. And he's not unintelligent. And I know he destroyed, what's his name? Charlemagne, the god, little bitty dude, sits up there, names himself.
Hold on just a second. I'm gonna let Judge Joe Brown. He's gonna go in a little bit on Charlemagne's name, okay? But in the meantime, hold on a second.
Money making is my thing, because I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Shout out to Ron Alexander, brother. Thank you for the $5 super sticker. Yes, as I'm seeing across YouTube, the international drop for the 5 bone. Thank you, Mr. Ron Alexander, for the $5 super sticker and your support. And shout out to the homies in the building, Smoke and Talk stopping by. Shout out to those brothers over there, checking your boy out. I appreciate that. Appreciate you, Ron Alexander, for that. And always, 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 shout out to the homegirl, Almanize, who's in the chat, okay? Thank you guys for coming up and supporting me on this, all right? But let's see what he got to say about Charlemagne. which I find hilarious. I'm gonna back it up a little bit.
When it comes to that, yeah.
Exactly. And he's not unintelligent. And I know he destroyed, what's his name? Charlemagne the God, little bitty dude, sits up there, names himself after a 7'2" tall giant in his day, who was an early edition of Adolf Hitler with all of the cleansing programs he did. One of the things he's accused, well, they have proof on it. He executed more than 100,000 people because they cremated their dead instead of burying them. He did stuff like that.
So
let me see him destroy Charlemagne.
All right, I want to play this part first. It says Larry Elder checks Charlemagne a god.
And I would not be surprised if what Larry Elder did on the Breakfast Club recruited more black men to the Republican side of the aisle. I would not be surprised if that happened, that was a result of that. I wish we have some data to see what the support for the Republicans amongst black men before Larry Elder's Breakfast Club interview and then after.
Have you ever heard the term nigga wake up call? No. It is an incident where a person of color forgets that they are of color and are reminded rather brutally by an unexpected act of racism. Have you ever had any of those?
Oh, brother.
I'm just asking. You think you've ever had
Well, I'm acutely aware, Charlemagne, that I'm a black person, just as you are a black person. And when Joe Biden insulted you by saying, you ain't really black, we don't know whether or not you want to vote for me or vote for Donald Trump, it seems to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part. How dare this guy come in here and insult you, a black man, and tell you you got to think a certain kind of way? I'm amazed that you weren't mad about that.
I'm not gonna say it.
That comment right there, I'm gonna run it back. That comment there, you know what Larry Elder was saying right now? He was saying this.
And we want the smoke.
We want the smoke. You want to go in with me? We want the smoke.
Bang! Bang! It's good.
That's right. He was
bang! Bang! It's good.
Yeah, Larry Elder came in and lowered the boat.
He's going up. Hulk Hogan, he drops a big leg on him.
That's what Larry Elder did. I'm gonna run that back.
Color forgets that they are of color and are reminded.
So
let me see him destroy Charlemagne.
All right, I want to play this part first. It says Larry Elder checks Charlemagne a god.
Have you ever heard the term nigga wake up call? No. It is an incident where a person of color forgets that they are of color and are reminded rather brutally.
Oh, sorry.
Have you ever had any of those?
Oh, brother.
I'm just asking. You think you've ever
Well,
had
I'm acutely aware, Charlemagne, that I'm a black person, just as you are a black person. And when Joe Biden insulted you by saying, you ain't really black, we don't know whether or not you want to vote for me or vote for Donald Trump, it seems to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part. How dare this guy come in here and insult you, a black man, and tell you you got to think a certain kind of way? I'm amazed that you weren't mad about that.
I'm not gonna say it upset me, just like I'm not letting you upset me. You know what I mean? I don't tend to get upset over things like that. But what I did say,
well, you just not talk about a nigger wake-up call, and it seemed to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part to have.
Well, first of all, did you guys catch that with Charlemagne to say, I don't let things like that upset me? That's the problem. That's the problem. Brother, you are asleep at the wheel. That is the problem. That you let this old, I was going to say Jim Crow type white dude, pretending to be your friend, which he's not. And he's proven that over a course of his entire career. Come in there and try to, you allowed a white man to come in and to define your blackness. We allow so much bull crap to be done to us. It is all as wonderful as we are as black men. Good God, the crap that we allow. And unfortunately, I have to say because too many of us are judged. Oh my God. Too many of us are judged by the damn Charlemagnes of the world. Charlemagne is a weak representation of a black man. He is, I mean, to sit there and go, I don't get upset about that. There's a reason why a guy like me, it can't go into those spaces. I'm too easily triggered by stuff like that. I don't give a damn that Joe Biden at the time was the vice president, former vice president of the United States. He would have said some crap like that to me in my face. That would have been the end of the interview. Not that I would have ended it, but the way I would have talked to that little punk bitch would have been the way would have ended it, because the next things out of my mouth would have been like, who the fuck you talking to, you punk bitch? Who are you to tell me? Who are you to tell me? It's one thing if I get my quote unquote blackness challenged by another black person, but I'd be goddamn if I let some white dude, some old Jim Crow white dude do it, especially when Barack Obama ran for president for the first time in 2008 and everybody forgot what you said about him on a debate stage. Literally cold calling him a nigga on a debate stage, which I don't understand for the life of me how Barack Obama even chose your punk ass to be his vice president. I got more on this, but hold on a second.
Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the
Brother, hold on a second. I'm not done with you. That's look, I got the lead attorney. He just popped up. Lead, what do you think about these super chats?
They are amazing.
Amazing. Brother, here you go. Almanize, can you believe this super chat?
Hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no.
Come on, Mr. L. Jackson with the 50 bomb. I'm talking about getting bricked. L. Jackson just came in and bricked the RBN live. Oh, the Real Bravado Network just got bricked. We just got bricked. What's wrong with you, black men? You don't support. Salute to you, Mr. L. Jackson, for the $50 super vote. TLA, tell the people one more time what you think about these super chats.
They are amazing.
Thank you, sir. Salute to you, Real Bravado Network. Love your show and format. Finally catching you live. Keep up the good work, bro. My goodness, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. This is absolutely amazing. We're gonna put that brick. We're gonna get a brick drop. That thank you for that, because that was showing up. Dropping a 50 bomb like that. That is straight up bricking a brother, boy. That is straight up bricking a brother in a good way. That is straight up bricking a brother in a good way. Hold on a second. That is straight up bricking a brother in a good way. Wow. Wow. This is absolutely amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Even the chat is like going crazy over this. Look at this. This is absolutely amazing. This is absolutely amazing. This is absolutely amazing. This is absolutely amazing. I appreciate that, brother. Oh my God. Talking about a stream stopper right there, boy. That is an absolute stream stopper. Whew. But let's get back to it. Anybody who heard that Breakfast Club interview with Joe Biden, and even if you didn't hear it directly, but you heard Larry Elder chin checking Charlamagne about this, and Larry Elder, let me tell you something. That is what holding somebody accountable looks like. Let me give it up to you, Larry Elder, for going in there and chin checking him for talking about your nigga wake up call. Charlamagne, you got your nigga wake up call. You got your nigga wake up call, you know, and Larry Elder provided you your nigga wake up call. You know, and quite frankly, Charlamagne, you should never come back on air no more after that, because you just need to
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Over that. You allowing that old white man, who cares if he was the vice president of the United States at one time, you allowing that white man to come in and do that to you, that makes us look bad. And as much as we don't like to, as much as most of us hate it, we are all judged by what other black men do publicly. We are all linked to that. It ain't fair, it ain't right, but it is what it is. That's what it is. And that's how come Joe Biden was so comfortable doing that, because black people, we allow these suckers to get away with this garbage. You think Joe Biden could have went to the little hat community and talking about you not a J if you don't vote for me? You think he could have went to the Italians and be like, you're not an Italian if you don't vote for me. You're not Irish if you don't vote for me. You ain't this, you ain't that if you don't vote for me. You couldn't go to the Hispanic community and be like, you not Hispanic enough if you don't vote for me. Do you think any other race of people would let that man get away with that crap? And then our women went out at a 90% clip and voted for that man after he said that. He wasn't just talking about black men. He was talking about black people in general.
In here, who also said, by the way, about Mitt Romney, because he didn't want to put more regulations on Wall Street, going to put y'all back in chains. And Joe Biden had lied for decades about his civil rights record, claiming that he desegregated movie theaters and restaurants in Wilmington, Delaware, when he didn't do any of that. He lied and said that he tried to visit Nelson Mandela during apartheid South Africa. He did not. And he came in here and told you aren't even black and let you think a certain kind of way. It seems to me that should have been a nigga wake-up call for you, but it wasn't, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, no, for the record, I'm not a Democrat or Republican.
What, Charlamagne, what the hell has that got to do with anything? Talking about you're not a Democrat or Republican. That's not what Larry Elder is talking about, you simple-minded bastard. You are an embarrassment. He's not talking about if you are a Democrat or Republican. He's talking about how do you as a man allow this old dude to come in here and insult you and degrade you in this way to your face, sitting inches away from you, and you say nothing. I'm not bitching about Charlamagne's politics. I'm bitching about the fact that he's a whole bitch. I'm telling you, y'all, you can walk up to Charlamagne with his woman, slap the shit out of his woman, or grab his woman's ass, and he won't do nothing. He won't do nothing about it. That's how much of a bitch he is. Go up to Charlamagne with his woman and grab her ass. He won't do nothing. Because he don't get mad about stuff.
I didn't say you were.
Yeah, I think both.
I don't know what you are. I never even asked you about your party affiliation. Yeah, I'm just saying but you are black. And to have a white guy come in here and tell you have to say, think a certain kind of way, otherwise you, quote, ain't black. Wow.
How should I have replied to him, you think?
How do you think you should have replied? How should you reply? Mona D, he wants to know how he should have replied.
She needs psychiatric help. Oh my God.
Yeah, that joker needs psychiatric help. How should you reply?
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that? I'm sorry, bro. I wasn't thinking about it. Nah.
Really? Really? How should you reply? This is what I would have said to this motherfucker right here.
Acknowledge me.
That's right. That's right. With your chest out. How should you have replied? Why are you, Charlamagne, I got a personal question for you. Bruh, how did you get so weak?
Blame it on the rain.
You're going to blame it on the rain. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Blame it on the rain.
What I just now said, how dare you insult me and tell me I think as a human being, let alone as a black person? I don't tell you how to think, Joe Biden. How dare you come in here and tell me how I should think? I'm going to vote for Donald Trump if I want to vote for Donald Trump. And if I want to vote for Donald Trump, it does not make me not black. 20% of black people, black men, as I said, voted for Donald Trump in 2020. Are they not black now? So only 80% of black people, black men walking around are really black. 20% are not because they voted for Donald Trump. How insulting is that? How condescending is that?
I mean, you're probably right, but I didn't take it in that way.
Well,
you probably right, and I didn't take it that way. What? You probably, let me read that. Let me talk about it. Let me play that again. I can't believe
now,
this. Hold on.
So only 80% of black people, black men walking around are really black. 20% are not because they voted for Donald Trump. How insulting is that? How condescending is that?
I mean, you're probably right, but I didn't take it in that way.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to.
Really, dude? Really, dude? I didn't take it that way. Then what way were you supposed to take that? Like, even if on the off chance that Joe Biden was like, quote unquote, kidding, why would you allow somebody like him to come in and play with you like that?
About me wanting something for my people, and I want to know what is he going to do for my people, and not only for my people now, how are you going to atone for the things you've done to my people?
Right.
That's it.
Right.
You did not hold him accountable to that. How can you ask him about how do you atone, and when he insulted you to your face and you said nothing? Because you just told Larry Elder that the reason why you didn't say nothing is because you weren't offended by it. You didn't have enough sensibilities to be offended by that. This man little boyed you right to your face, and you didn't have the sensibilities to be offended by that. Are we playing? I mean, what are we doing? These dudes out here like him are they're just as embarrassing as Nug Nug them and little Gremlin them and little Pookie them and little Ray Ray them. Guys like Charlamagne is just as embarrassing for the black man image. I can take a Larry Elder over these little simp motherfuckers, boy. I really can.
Joe Biden, who, when he first got into the Senate, hung out with segregationists, talked about how well he got along with them, talked about how he didn't want integration because of a jungle. This guy has made all sorts of insulting things to black people, and his policies right now are hurting black people. Inflation hurts the people at the bottom more than anything else. Letting a bunch of illegal aliens into the border are hurting black people more than anybody else, as I said earlier. He's opposed to school choice when he has his own kids in private school, and we lost a year, almost 2 years of in-school education in California because of COVID that he supported. I mean, this guy has done monstrous things to black people, and then for him to come in here and tell you how you ought to think as a black person, it blew my mind.
As a person,
it blew, not only blow your mind, Larry Elder, it blew a lot of our minds.
Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the
Shout out to my homegirl, my sexy is strong, with the $10 super chat coming through, showing your boy some support. And I, of course, I am extremely grateful for anybody, that come in and support the streams. We can only do what we do over here on YouTube if not without the people who actually provide us some support over here. Otherwise, and also it keeps us encouraged to keep going and keep growing and to keep developing the way that we need to develop. So I am very, very, very grateful of any support, even from fellow content creators like M.A.N and My Sexy is Strong. I just dropped My Sexy is Strong link in the chat, so I appreciate that, and I thank you for coming by. It says just stopping by to show some support. Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you all the way, every day, 7 days a week and twice on Sundays. Do I appreciate what you're doing for me over here? My goodness, Charlemagne and people and black folk like Charlemagne, what can we say to you? What can we say to you?
Objectively, who doesn't care about either party?
Charlemagne is weak.
Huh?
Charlemagne is weak.
Yeah. But he's not that intelligent either to
No, he's not.
Have that conversation with Larry Elder.
No, he's not. And see, what happened, it transcended politics. It just got down to, hey, you know what we were looking at? Charlemagne's too young to know about it, but back in elementary, junior, and high school in my day, we ran the dozens. It was just like folk get up and rap now.
Charlemagne's not too young to know what that is, Joe Brown. We all did a version of that. He ain't too young to know that. He's just ignorant.
And, when they have a
and weak
contest to see who can come up with the most interesting rhymes spontaneously. Like, hey, man, I want to say nothing about your mama, man, but blah, 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 blah. But, man, you want to talk about mama, man. Let me tell you about this, man. Don't tell your daddy, man, because when you get that new baby brother or sister, man, it ain't hit his mind, man, because I was hitting it up the other night, man, and see, it's selling wolf tickets in one sense, but it's called running the dozens. And Larry Elder politely kicked his ass.
I don't think that was so polite. He didn't politely kick shit. He just came in there and whooped his ass. Charlemagne got the damn ass whooping that he was supposed to have gotten from his daddy. You can tell the quality of a black man by how he presents himself in the world. You can tell how he was influenced and how he was raised, and who did the primary and who was the primary influence in his life. Charlemagne is weak.
Right. He's slightly, I think, older than you.
No, he's not. I know him.
He's in his 70s.
I'm older than he is. I know him. I run into him a lot. We used to show up on Larry King Live a lot. Larry King bring him down. He liked the both of us. So I've run into him. I've interviewed him on the show I had several times.
Yeah, he's only 71. But it's just like, how are you going? You were trying to see black men from your generation. It's a different level of intellect, no matter, even if you disagree with their politics.
It's not a different level of intellect, Dana. It's a different level of discernment. It's a different level of resiliency. It's a different level of experience. It's a different level of seriousness. It's a different level of development. These were men, regardless if you agree with their politics or not. They were serious men of our generation, my generation, and the guys right behind me were not serious, because we would never allow some fucker to come in and insult us like that. I wouldn't think Martin Luther King, oh my God, let him say that to, oh my God. Can you imagine if he said that to like Huey P. Newton, Malcolm X, or Medgar Evers, if he said that to any of them? I know a bunch of women he can't say that to, that he that would not let that crap slide. My goodness.
They want to tell you why, and they give no fucks on why you disagree with them, but they're going to tell you in details exactly why they vote for who they vote for. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they're not on that Democrat liberal train. So you have to approach, just ask a question and let him talk. Don't try to be combative as if you're anywhere near his intellect. Because Charlamagne,
like, what's his name? That Wilmington Library thing?
Michael Eric Dyson.
Yeah, that was pathetic.
Okay. Listen, Charlamagne did not bring Larry Elder in there to have a conversation or to understand this platform. I told you the Breakfast Club viewed Larry Elder as a traitor or Uncle Tom, and they thought they could bring him in there and embarrass him. But instead, they got embarrassed. As Messy Michonne says, hey, y'all, that's it. That's all.
I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king and I will never kneel, plotting for my fall. You getting hanged for treason. I don't aim to please, do anything I feel. Haters gonna talk, don't listen to the shit. They tryna be like me, they know they can, yo. Can't even get lost. I'm on a pedestal, sitting on my throne. My neck be decked in gold. I don't do no hoes, I got a queen though. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing.
Shout out to L. Jackson again for that 50 song. Come on, bro.
I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king, I told you guys before, ready for the war, to get me way much more. Gather all the spoils, add them to my kingdom. Shout out to my fans for pledging your allegiance. You get a reward, the best flow you've ever heard. I don't be mixing with birds, I'm a lion on the surge. Always pushing to the edge, facing arrows, never scared. For my greatness I'm a servant, only under myself. I'm a king cause I do what